It's Friday. Time to drink and get my groove on, man. It is the morning run. It is Friday morning. We got Big Dog Chico. We got Deuces School. We got yours truly, Uncle Neely, holding it down. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to even do some cliz-down. You know how we do on Friday. Deuces Scoop is the morning run. I hope you're ready, baby.
Let's do it.
Dukes the Scoop.
Yo.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you, brother, you be coming with the lead gang. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Pirates hat made iconic by Chuck D and Public Enemy. Man, I'm gonna tell you, if you back in the gap, if you ain't had that gold P or Raiders hat, you wasn't black.
Man, that's hard. Man, you know what? And I didn't even know that, dog. I try to get all the hats that got a P on them for P
Yeah,
Duke, like P Dukes, right? But
yeah,
man, I'm glad I had that piece of history in my back pocket because a lot of times you never know what could spark a conversation, and that next conversation could spark some denominations.
Hey,
So
we were just talking about that in the green room, man.
yeah,
Like we did a whole show the past 4 minutes.
man, what you talking about for real? And as they say, yeah, it might be a little slow motion, but it's better than no motion.
Oh man, now the one you got me with is yesterday, the conference call. What you told me your sister said you living in answer prayers.
Man, living to answer prayers, boy.
You shook me with that one.
Man, shout out to Regina Dukes. That was the truth. She said, boy, you know you live in the answer. Out of the blue, just text me AM. Hey, boy, you know you live in the answer prayers. I said, whoo, you right. But let me be
That's
grateful.
love that dog. Because sometimes, man, when you get to going, right, and you ain't where you want to be, for whatever reason, whether just because it ain't the goal haven't been reached, or you're looking around and think you should be further along than you should be. But one thing you forget to do is look back and really see how damn far you have come. And you be like, damn, man, like I'm a long way from where I was.
Long way, man. Amen. And shout out to her for that. But like she said though, like sometimes, like you said, man, you pray for something, you get it. You thankful when you get it. And then, a year or two later, it's like you used to it. Just like that new car. You know, the new car. You wanted that new car, and then, in 2 or 3 years, that new car is still the car. It just ain't new, and now that new car smell done wore off, and now, you're used to it, and it's, man, I'm ready for something else. But if you took care of it with the same amount of gratitude that you had on the day you got it, you wouldn't need a new one.
Man, I constantly try to remind myself to never complain about getting things I prayed for.
Man.
Like, because when you pray and work for something and get it, there are gonna still be obstacles with it. Then you find yourself like, man, damn, I don't feel like doing this today. You're like, no, 2 years ago, this is exactly what I wanted.
I get to do this today, right?
Yeah. Not I got to do this, I get to do this. Like, this is a blessing. And man, and on that, like that car analogy there, it's the economics, the law of diminishing return. It's like when one of my favorite candy is peanut M&Ms, and you really don't matter what color they all damn taste the same, right? But like them first 10 taste great. Them last 10 is average or mid. Because you done had 30 of them, it's like, man, what this shit whack, man.
Right.
But if somehow, and that's that challenge out there in the street game and the hustle with that crack. If you could ever get that first high back, boy.
Oh man.
Don't nothing hit like that first M&M.
I mean, you always chasing it, dog. That's what
Yes,
that's what keep people coming back, man.
Man, y'all know what to do if you in the chat. You watching the morning run live. Big Dog Chico in the back producing. He gonna be on. He working on some assignments. We got my man Deuce School from the ATL. Yours truly, Uncle Neely, hold it down in Boulder with a bye weekend for the bus. Still gonna talk some bus football, talk some basketball that's going around as well. But just letting you know. Now you got to let us know where you're from. So if you're in the chat, type in where you checking in from, because we love to see where all the views are coming from. We appreciate all the views and support this week. We hopped on Uncle Chico last night, and I know Dukes, you addressed it as well. Big news coming at the end of the day yesterday with AD Rick George announcing at the end of the academic year, which is June 30th / July 1st, he will be stepping down as athletic director and going into an advisory role. Thoughts on the Dukes?
part of the game, man. What I've been saying all year, man. It's part of the game. I think that's Silk the Shocker had an album called Charge It to the Game. Sometimes you got to charge it, and it's one of those things you got to charge. It's part of the game. You got to charge it to the game. You knew. I know Coach Prime had an idea of this happening. Maybe not the time period. I don't know what he knew about the time period, but I knew he knew that this was coming eventually. So I don't think this has, and Rick George has already said himself, this has no bearing on Coach Prime, his job security, or how long he keeps the job or anything. This is a Rick George decision about Rick George and his family. And I think that I just know the relationship with Coach Prime and Rick George will loom large. I'm not saying that Coach Prime is picking the next AD. I just know that relationships with, like, they rule the nation. So I just feel like I think Coach Prime is going to be just fine. And I think that's the question a lot of people have is how does this affect Coach Prime? And I just think he'll be fine regardless, without saying too much.
Yeah, I agree with that. From what you ended with, excuse me, that Coach Prime will be fine. Like he quotes all the time in the words of Kendrick Lamar, "We gonna be all right." But there's an interesting dynamic there, in that when Coach Prime was reached out to and wanted and desired to be here and hired to be here. That was all with Rick George. And you've seen the past 3 years the relationship that they have, which started and is primarily based, in that belief in Rick George believing in Coach Prime. Because let's not get it twisted. Coach Prime had Power Five interviews even before Jackson State. He had Power Five conversations even before Jackson State. And during Jackson State, post Jackson State, it was really Colorado which is Rick George, that just fully believed in what he could accomplish as a head coach on what's now the Power Four level. So there's a special relationship and bond there, that cannot be replicated, because it is what it is, right? Like that's your guy. That's who brought you in. It's really like Coach Prime and Ashley Robinson back at Jackson State. Ashley Robinson is who gave you that opportunity. They're gonna forever be tight, and be able to communicate. Having said that, you knew that with at the time Rick George being a 10-year with a little plus sign athletic director, that when Coach Prime signed his deal, that somewhere between signing the first deal, the extension, or a second deal should the first one expire, Rick George would probably not be the AD. Because like you said, charging to the game, this is an industry where, you don't serve as AD 15, 20 years. And so for him to have been AD this long and accomplished stuff, it's going to be very hard to fill the shoes of what he's been able to do here at the university. Not just in the 10 years before Prime, but in the 3 with Prime. You look at all the changes that have taken place around here: turf field, new jumbotron, Ford sponsoring the indoor practice facility. List could go on and on. Uh, it will be interesting to see how this unfolds as far as who's going to be next, because there's literally, Dukes, there's no rush. And here's why there's no rush. Rick George got him to July 1st, right? You have him, to June 30th. Effective July 1st, you then have him in his advisory role to support whoever the new AD is. You could easily do an interim AD from within and do like a full-fledged, blown-out national search, and get somebody else after that. And then now you would be 2/3 seasons into Coach Prime's extension. So all these things I'm saying really have minimal to no impact on Prime. Is when you get to the long-term stay and you finally get that AD, and let's say that's a calendar year from now, how much time is left on Coach Prime's contract? How is the team performing? Because you know how anybody is. I don't care if you're a head coach, AD, president, police chief, whatever. You be one of your own people.
Absolutely.
And so just like people look around the nation and go, they wax poetically about coaching vacancies, which we have a lot of them right now. The same thing happens for GMs, as well as ADs. It's one of those things where you don't have to jump out and rush a hire until you see who's all available and desired.
Right. No, absolutely. I don't think you have to rush, and I think it allows you to make the right decision. Right. I think, and I think that's what happens. I think they put a ton of research into it. They find out who the best person is. I think that even the emeritus with him being in an advisory role, when you look at traditionally when that role happens, that guy is leaned on for some part of the selection process. So, and a lot of times they say, I just remember as far as being in upper management, you don't move on until you find your replacement. And a lot of times your input is put in. Like when I left the warehouse for the final time, I was a plant manager. I had input on. I actually interviewed the next plant manager who was replacing me, and then I trained him. Right. So I think a lot of times your input, and my input was important to the president because I knew that building like nobody else did. Like that was my building. That was my baby for that amount of years. And as being one of the youngest plant managers in the network, they were like, oh, we got to get somebody who gets it. And if Dukes thinks they get it, then okay, at least we can mark that checkbox. I wasn't the end all be all, but I did have some influence. And I think Rick George will be in the same position. I think his opinion will be valued when it comes to the next AD selection. I'm not saying he's the end all be all. I'm not saying that he's going to hand select them. I do feel like he will have some type of, now, and just think about this. I don't think people, I didn't know his resume. Man, Rick George is that dude from whether it was being a part of the Colorado football program back in the day, whether it was, when they were going 11-0 and winning national championships, he was he was a guy in the front office then. President of the Texas Rangers, had no clue until yesterday. I didn't. Even his position on the PGA Tour, like this guy's been doing really big stuff for a long time. So I think he deserves his flowers as well, just for his career individually and what he's done for Colorado University. And I think it'll work out well because the guy who had the foresight to bring Coach Prime in the first place, right? So yeah, I think it'll work well.
Yeah, you have to always keep football at the forefront. Football is your cash cow. It's the goose that lays the golden egg. It's the most important program in the athletic department. But there are also many other things, many other sports. And I think if you look at the tenure of Rick George at Colorado, there's probably not a coach that he didn't hire. I don't know if you have a coach here that's been here 15 years. Pretty much, I would imagine that every coach for every program is been someone he has selected. You look at the contractual stuff again, like the Ford indoor facility, the other stuff that's going around the campus. It just shows you the forward thinking to keep him involved because no matter who's named, even if it's somebody that's already here, what expertise do you have better than him to lean on? Like your example with Warehouse is that, man, why would we push out the dude that got us this far when we can use him in a consulting role, advisory role to help us navigate some of those issues, and that could be personality such as dealing with coaches, no matter the sport or Coach Prime, like who better, as time goes forward, like, hey, we got some things we need to work on. Rick, we want to, as your advisory consultant role, get you to do this because that's your coach. Or we want you to talk to Ford because that's the deal you brokered. So it just makes sense when you see him listed now in that emeritus status and that consultant status going forward. Like I tell y'all in examples, man, when you watch them war movies and they got that clear case that you got to lift the lid, then hit the button. We not even lift the lid mode. Like this is not no panic situation, no nuclear situation. As you started off with, Dukes, this is part and parcel to the game. People leave, particularly people who've done it more than a decade.
Absolutely. It's just part of it, man. Well wishes into his advisory role, which are kind of like a pseudo retirement. He mentioned his grandchildren, his family. So man, I'm happy for him, man. And then
man, I gotta tell you, Dukes, you were traveling the day we had him on the morning run.
Yeah.
And Uncle Chico last night, we played a couple of clips from it. And I asked him, just point blank, and this was early September, like, hey, look, we got this lightning in a bottle commissioner of the Big 12, lightning in a bottle head coach, Deion Sanders. What's Rick George's future, because that triumvirate is working. And when you go back and watch that clip with today's information, it's like, oh, okay. He didn't say I'm gonna be here forever. He showed. He said, he basically was like one day at a time.
You gonna play it, man?
You say that,
Brother George, let me tell you, you're spot on, but just wait 5 minutes. He's gonna flip back to see. It won't take long before Chico goes Chico.
That's a
I want
lie.
to. I got. I got to ask you this, AD George. I think we're in this perfect situation. I'm saying this as a fan supporter in the partnership that I have with officially with the university. I don't want to see this end anytime soon, but we got this wonderful commissioner in the Big 12. He has this New York Rock Nation experience. We got this wonderful AD, who has PGA, Major League Baseball, collegiate experience, and we got this wonderful head coach that you just signed for another 5 years. The big question is, how much longer does AD George want to be AD George? Are you sticking around?
Look, I love being at Colorado. I've been here. I just started my 13th year last week. I'm excited about what's ahead. At this point, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm passionate about this school and our programs and our student athletes. And I haven't put a timetable on anything. I'm still operating under my contract, and I'm very comfortable with that. So no big news today. I'm just making sure that I focus on the now. And the now for me is to ensure that our student athletes are having the experience that we promise, that we have the programs in place for them, that we are putting this university and this athletic department in a position for the future. And that's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on an end game or what's my future look like. I'm just going day to day and focused on that, and going to continue to focus on that.
That was a wonderful answer.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. Maybe I can be an A-.
That's right.
So you heard it there. He was focused on today and said no big news today. And again, it's context at that time, like, oh man, I hear you, good deal. And then when you see the yesterday, you're like, I hear you, Rick. I hear you.
Slick Rick.
Slick Rick, I love it. But shout out to him, man. Much accomplished career, not just in Colorado sports, but again, like you mentioned, Texas Rangers. I think while he was there, 2 World Series appearances, PGA Championship Tour director. You name it, he's done it in the sports world. So you're gonna probably, I would imagine, Dukes and Runners and Chico in the back with Manny. Somewhere in the near future is going to be something named after Rick George on this campus.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he's responsible for the fundraising that took and oversaw the Champions Center, Champions Health Center. Like, so that's a phenomenal place, right? And so I'm looking at how good it looks. I'm like, dang, I never thought about who was responsible for putting that together. Rick George. Hey, he's that guy. You can't take nothing away from him, man. And so, man, salutations and good luck to him in the future.
As we say in the hood, shout out to that guy.
Shout out to Buddy.
Yeah, that is shout out to Buddy. Yeah, shout out to Buddy. Speaking of Buddy, shout out to Buddy, Manny in the back. Appreciate that clip, Manny. There you got a time-lapse video playing of the new turf going down. Like I said, the Ford practice facility, new jumbotron. So many changes, man. Again, just in the small 3 years I've been physically around this program, all to the leadership of AD Rick George. So shout out to him. Chico, I got a question when Chico come on and Deuce when you come on. I know you're already on, but question for both of y'all, just y'all philosophical, how y'all look at this thing. Back in our day, before text messaging and tweets, you literally got a thumbtack and put something on the bulletin board. And everybody knew what you're supposed to do on the way to the locker room, way to class. You're supposed to stop and look at the bulletin board. That's where you got today's announcement. So what comes from that is the term bulletin board material. You're only supposed to put material on the bulletin board that's important, that we need to know. And sometimes in today's sports, you hear coaches still refer to, or even players, bulletin board. Like, yeah, man, that's bulletin board stuff that got us going. Watching this LSU women's versus Charlotte game the other night, absolute destruction by halftime as well as the end of the game. But it was Coach Mulkey from LSU's comments post-game where she talked about that bulletin board material, and that's what got her team going. What had happened was there were a couple of players from Charlotte who posted a video of them dancing and saying, LSU getting ready to play some real competition now, because this is a time of season where big people play little people and little people get a check. Let's just keep it real. This is November, December. You're not in the conference play. You get on the road. You go play somebody better than you. They pay you, for the tune-up. That is what it is. You have some upsets that happen. School from the SWAC beat UAB the other day. School from the SWAC beat USM the other day. So you have some upsets there, but pretty much it's a one-sided thing when you're in this version of the year. But my question, Dukes, when you're giving maximum effort, how much more effort, or is bulletin board material even a real thing?
I think it's a real thing when you have let me say this. When you have the capability to make it a real thing, when you've done enough work, when you're talented enough, when you've trained long enough to make it a real thing, that's when it's a real thing. For example, it was nothing LSU could have said about Charlotte. They could have talked about everybody's parents. They could have talked about their children. They could have talked about the school. They could have said the president sucked. They could have said everything is horrible about Charlotte, and there was nothing Charlotte could have done about beating LSU. All right, no matter what they said. But LSU, for example, could have said, you know what? We could beat them on at 85, but you know what? Let's give them 105. We could press all, we don't have to press all game, but you know what? We ain't coming out of the press till we up 60. We can usually come out after 20. And I think that's kind of, when I think about bulletin board material, you have to have the capability to make it a thing in order for it to be a thing. Because, shoot, man, all right, circle the Dukes. First real fight I ever got in came, I was in first grade. I was 5. Got through watching Rocky 4. Saw Rocky come back. Gerard had been messing with folks at school. I was the guy. And I watched Rocky and didn't know how to fight and went over there and got whooped. First one. I started 0-1. Thinking that, but that was you can whoop everybody. I'm watching Rocky. It wasn't nothing I can do with Gerard. Nothing. But at the end of the day, I got on that tough guy juice watching Rocky and thought I was Rocky. No, sir. And so I think from this point, I learned, one, I need to work harder. Got to train in the off season, right?
Yeah.
And but I also knew that don't let a fictional movie or anything like that, right? Let your butt write a check, so that you can't cash. Let your mouth write a check that you can't cash. So I think that being said, I didn't have the capability to cash in, but as I got older, and I got pretty good with these hands, then I did have the capability where somebody could say something like, "Well, I know, I'm finna go get my cousin," and sometimes I would be the cousin you go get. So I think as you have I think bulletin board goes with ability. If that's the perfect marriage between the two. So I think it can have some type of impact, but you got to be able to back it up.
Yeah. I love that, man. I hadn't considered the ability factor of this all. That somehow you got to be capable of the motivation actually motivating you and translating into a skill and translating into points on the board. There's so many times that bulletin board material is straight up BS, but I'm with you that there are times where it does serve as a motivator. And one of the things about it now, like when you're talking about a human endeavor, you really ain't got more than 100%. Like if you're giving your all, there ain't nothing left to give. But there are some circumstantial things that occur. Like this guy on me was talking smack pre-game press conference. This is a situation I typically would pass the ball, but I'm finna back his ass down. Like I know that kind of thing happens, right? But when I look at this LSU Charlotte, and one of the things you said, shout out to Coach Tamika Reed, head coach of Charlotte, who was head coach at Jackson State, who took a Jackson State team down there to the NCAA tournament. And I think it might have been a 7-point game, David almost beat Goliath in that situation. But here, I think that it was used as an extra motivator, because again, this is that part of the season where big teams aren't playing anybody yet. And so here's Charlotte saying to themselves, oh, no, we ain't them. We somebody. Now LSU finna see what it's like to play somebody. And then LSU is like, oh, y'all saying we ain't been playing nobody. Oh, okay. Let me show you what we do when we do play somebody. I think some of the I don't know if Manny got the footage. A lot of technical fouls in the game because when LSU would score, they would be demonstrative towards Charlotte's bench. I think it evolved into a lot of unsportsmanlike behavior, which you don't want to see. Which that's when we can play that clip, from Kim Mulkey talking. It's not copyrighted, but even she addressed like I typically would have benched somebody or called a timeout, but I know what was motivating them to be like that, and so she kind of either pre, post, or during the game fed into it. But like you said, Dukes, it's one of those things where had it been in reverse, Charlotte didn't have the depth or talent to 117 them, but LSU did. And I think it was like a fake motivator. Well, here's with Shiloh Sanders, my dog. Shout out to Shiloh. Shiloh used to call it. Nobody know Coach Prime better than his own kids. What Shiloh used to call it was, here come the manufactured adversity. They'd be out there working out, and all of a sudden somebody didn't reach the line. Even though everybody did, he's shouting like, "Man, my dad been doing this all the time. I call it manufactured adversity just to get us going. Like even when it's all right, something ain't gonna be right." And so I could see Akil Morphy telling her team the night before, "Man, yes, I do. Chick said y'all ain't playing nobody.
Right?
Y'all gonna let them say that?" And then another real world application that I've seen here. There's no doubt my mama raised me to take my hat and my glasses off when I'm talking to people, gave extra motivation to Deion Sanders' Colorado team when they play in Colorado State. There's no doubt about that.
For sure.
But you could flip that coin over, though, Dukes. What I thought would have been motivation for the season when Coach Prime came back from his defeating cancer and told his team, and the team was like, "Man, we got your back, Coach. We're going to win for you." And we ain't won but 3 games. Like, and maybe that motivation was too far ago. Maybe it needs to be like immediate bulletin board material. But every time you claim something motivated you, I got proof that don't always pan out.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1,000%. You got to have it in you, man. Like, put it like this: if that, I can't tell God what he was gonna do, but I don't know if David wins that without that sling. That's why he had it, right? So it don't matter what Goliath said or was gonna do. He ain't had that sling, but that sling gave him the ability. It is what it is. We can talk. We can do all the talking in the world that we want to do. Unless you have the ability to do something about it, it don't really matter.
Shout out to Gerard.
Shout out to Gerard. I don't know where Gerard at.
Go ahead, man. Hit play on that thing.
We had too many technicals, but I want to give you a little background, okay? They took it real personal with all the stuff that was on social media. And I'll leave it at that. And so they were fired up. With that many technicals, I usually am going to lose it or I'm going to sit you. But it was bulletin board material and it fired them up. And that was too many technicals. If you're going to play great teams, you can't have that. But I wasn't surprised. So let me say this. We had too many technicals.
Yeah, and that lower clip, the way that was framed vertically, but that lower clip, you could see when LSU players would shoot a 3 and make it, they would aim it at Charlotte's bench, which is technically you can't in today's sports, even NFL, demonstrate like you got a gun or something. And so there was a lot of technical fouls called in the game. You see chirping with the bench there, chirping at the coach. That part has to absolutely be cleaned up, Dukes.
Yeah, but like you said, you got to clean it up. But when you kind of know what's going on, I think they know. I think, oh man, she can do it like that. This.
Oh man, look, shit, like dog, Dukes. I was watching this game, and I was like dog, like this is they in the hood.
Yeah, I mean,
and was doing not just at the players, doing it at the coaches, chirping like they was whatever it is. Call it fake, call it real, call it manufactured adversity. Shout out to Shiloh. It worked.
I tell you what, man, there was a time this year, and I wanted to see if Cam was gonna bite on command, and I said, Cam, knock his loose.
Yeah,
and Cam said, him? I said, yep. He said he looked around, and he went and when they said hut, hey, not Buddy out. Actually, he hurt him, not hurt him, but he put it on him.
He hurt him. He didn't injure him. He hurt him.
Right. And I
Big
was
difference,
thinking that, but psychologically, like you said, you want that. You want to know if that dog you'd rather tell a dog to heel than to bite.
Yeah.
So I think I got that from you, where you want to see if they got that bite. It's early in the season. You want to see if they got that. I'd rather be able to dial it back than not be able to dial it up. And
Yeah, and I think that's what Mocha was, insinuating is like she ain't claimed she ordered the code red like a few good men, but she definitely didn't call it off because she know when they play SEC competition in the conference play that they can't have that many technical fouls. You got to play with more control. But I'm going to allow it now. There's times like I've even heard Coach Prime tell players Jackson State and Colorado, hey, we're going to run this play, blah, 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 blah. And when it works and we score, I got your back on the celebration. Do what you got to do. I don't mind that penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you another primism from back in the gap. Now, this is his Little League Truth Days, right?
Okay.
He says that when they were about to play a team that everybody said was better than them, oh, yeah, I ain't going to beat them Prime. Them boys big, y'all, blah, blah, blah. He said he would tell his trenches, defensive linemen, in this example, I want all 5 of y'all to jump offside at the same time, just knock the darn crap out of them. We'll take the penalty. But we gonna change the tone of the game, because we gonna set the tone of the game that they know what everybody been talking about. They finna push us around. They gonna happen. So go ahead, get jump off side, get you a good legal hit in. We'll take the penalty. But everybody got to do it, not just one, not just two. Every down lineman got to get up and do it.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, and all they did was go undefeated. So I guess.
Yeah, they say them boys putting B2A in them truth.
Yeah, so we'll see what unfolds the rest of the way. Women's basketball wise. Speaking of basketball wise, Dukes, I know I got to ask you this because you got a 13-year-old in your house. Is this 6-7 shit gonna ever stop?
Yeah, everything get old, man.
When did this go get old? It has made its way to collegiate sports now. It ain't just little kids. When the score is 65, everybody up on their feet to wait on their 67 point, and they will stop the game because the whole crowd do this. You had a coach call a timeout yesterday when the 67 point was scored, so her players could do it.
Yeah, I mean everything. Think about. I remember when I was in high school, all we did was DX, do the cross chop. Yeah, I mean, we would get in trouble for that, right? And then after that, it was people getting in trouble for sounding like Jesus wearing the snowman t-shirts when Jesus dropped. So everything has its time, and I'm just glad to see kids being kids. Yeah. Everybody's too cool for school. Everybody's, they always got their heads in their iPads or their phones. They go to games and don't even watch the game. So to see kids get so involved in something and just be happy and be kids, that's the happiness I take from it, where I'm like, what? I'm glad to see kids being kids. Like Cam is like stoic, and for him to even get in on it, like to be a kid, he don't really say nothing at school. And for him to see him get in on it, I'm like, yeah, it's the wave. So I'm just glad to see kids paying attention and doing something together without fighting.
Yeah, amen to that, man. And I'm the similar way, Dukes. I ain't got so old that I'm bothered by stuff that I don't get. I just love that they love it, and it ain't hurt nobody. I do the same thing with uniforms. I remember when Prime was picking uniforms at Jackson State or even here in Colorado, and I would just say to people, well, if you 60 and older and hate it, that means recruits and players gonna love it because it ain't for you. It ain't for you to understand, 6-7 or this uniform combination. That's for people 16 and 24 years old. And because that's the market you're trying to attract and trying to service. Like Rick George said, I'm trying to serve these student athletes and give them everything I promised them. And so when you hear alumni feel like, I don't know about that helmet, the kids love it.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I think the get off my lawn moment I had was the Atlanta drill music, where they just get on, they just scream about how they're gonna kill you. They be like, got a 2-2-2 through his head. I'm gonna hit him in his leg. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh man, bro, I don't know if I can listen to this. That was my old
get off my lawn.
Yeah, get off my. That was mine. Well, I just said, all right, I'm a real live Damn the gray on my beard. It was that. That's when I realized, I said, all right, but at the end of the day, it ain't for me to get. It's plenty. I got plenty of old school rap, and really, shoot, man, I might listen to some Blue Eyed Soul, some Marvin Gaye. Don't matter. So, that was my time, and I get to tell my kids and his kids about, or, my time, but it's their
Yeah,
time.
I see. I see. What you got going on in your world, bro?
Man, nothing, man. Really,
Is that Manny? I mean, the Dukes? I mean, Chico? I mean, Big
but
Dog? I
Chico.
mean,
I'm just back here listening. Go ahead, Dukes.
nah, you
Matter
good
of
What's going on
fact,
in
producer,
your
man. We see
world?
your
matter of fact,
work.
I was just typing. I need to step off for a second. Go, take my
Oh,
spot right
okay.
quick, Chico.
All right, bet. I'll come in and sub for you. Do we have to tag like tag team champions or something like that? Got tag?
Wrong way, Chico. You got to do it that way.
You going the wrong way too, El Genio. It's gracious. Hey, great
Yes, sir.
discussion right there, man. I was just listening in the background. That's all. But I
Yeah,
did have this come up on my timeline that I wanted to ask
Uh-oh.
both of y'all about. But I'll go to you first. Here we go. We just put it up like this. South Carolina coach get caught talking to Keelan Russell post Alabama win, but head coach Kalen DeBoer interjects. Is that something that could be a problem? Like we even saw Julian Lewis get approached by Rich Rod after the West Virginia game. Is that something that's out of the norm? That's something that should be stopped now during the age of transfer portal? Should a coach be worried if he sees another coach talking to his players? Just your thoughts on that.
Generally speaking, right? We gotta put the totality of college football. At least my experience with it, it means nothing. However, in the modern new era of college football, it could mean everything. And I would not be surprised if going forward, you can't have that kind of contact, post game with opposition, because it could be tampering. Like we don't know what he was saying. He could have been saying, hey dog, I told you need to transfer. We got a spot for you over here, which that flies in the face of the rules. You could have just been saying great game. A lot of times the NCAA or governing bodies will err on the side of caution and just say to prevent anything from happening, let's just cut it all off. So I
Right.
certainly could see, whether it is Rich Rod talking to Juju or this situation right here, even though it was completely harmless, I can see going forward somebody saying, hey, we're going to have to address that because that's weeks before a portal door opens and you can't have coaches or staff, tampering with it. But the other side that Chico is I don't know how you police it because yeah, you can say coaching staff from opposing teams can't go talk to players, but players are the best recruiters anyway. And so when the game ends, you don't know what players are saying to each other. Like, man, I'm finna come out there with you, dog. No, I'm finna come out there with you. So it's gonna be hard to monitor and police it.
So, because that's exactly what goes on after the game. You got people coming up who might know each other from high school,
Mm-hmm.
former recruiter, former teammate, whatever, and they're going to be kind of interacting and talking to each other, and anything could be said right there during that time. That is a good topic though, because you got to think like, what do you say? You tell all of the staff members, hey, you can't talk to a player, you can't congratulate them, you can't talk to them longer than 2 seconds. Like, how are you going to police that? So, man, it could be just on each individual team and how they handle it. Like you just saw Kalen DeBoer do. He could tell his team after the game, listen, don't talk to anybody else. You can shake hands with players, but staff members approach you, go the other way. And we're going to have our staff kind of police that also. Hey, if
And I
any
tell you what,
assistant coach or GA see them talking or trying to approach our player, just kind of step in, interject, or see what's going on. I don't know. It'll be kind of hard to do though.
yeah, it will be hard to do, but I mean, it's hard to enforce speed limits, but you got signs up and got police out there, so
That's
we'll
right.
see what comes from it. I just know that with the portal and reaching out to people too soon, that kind of thing, I can see that kind of ruling happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting that, and I would tell you this, Chico. Again, I don't know what was said. I'm not a good lip reader. With cameras and microphones being everywhere at all levels of college play, you wouldn't know if something was wrong. But I also tell you this: it don't help your case when you cover your mouth talking.
Yeah.
This.
When did that start becoming a thing?
I think it became a thing when
Uh,
when live televised sports became a thing because You see coaches on the sideline when they call a play, they cover their mouth. You know,
Yeah.
hell, you saw Shador talking to Ray Lewis, you know, covering his mouth because I don't want you to read my lips.
Yeah, you see
And
LeBron doing that
so,
when he talking to somebody on
yeah,
the sideline.
yeah, a lot of people. Steph Curry post game puts his jersey up over his nose and
Yeah.
talks to people through his jersey because they could be saying what restaurant they meeting at after the game. You know, you never know what it is, but they know there's always a camera on me, and even if there's not audio, people can read lips. And so, just because this head coach covered his mouth doesn't mean he was saying anything nefarious. I'm
Right.
just saying that helps.
Just
That helps justify. They probably shouldn't be talking at all if you got to cover your mouth.
or just protecting ourselves from getting, like you said, lip reading. You never know who's watching.
Mhm.
Or hell, my breath stink. You know, one of those.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And I know
Never
it.
know what it is.
Yeah. There you go.
But governing
Greg.
bodies, Chico, exist to govern, and you better believe somebody's out there trying to tinker with this rule or make a new rule because that's what they're there for.
Mm, mm, mm. All right. Bye week for the Buffaloes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people going home. Some people stay on campus. Seem like they might have had a good week of practice in there. Your thoughts, takeaways before these guys are enjoying the weekend and then getting ready to head back to Boulder.
Oh no, they've already the people that's leaving already gone. They got
Mhm.
they got the hell out of there right after practice yesterday. But typical week of practice, you know, nothing jarring or alarming there. Then as far as getting back here on Sunday for the team meeting and a regular week of practice going into your home game with Arizona State, one of the final two games. I think the key is what we have been talking about, Chico, on the morning run, is getting these guys to understand individually and collectively there's still something to play for. You know, when you start off your year, January, February, after losing a bowl game, Alamo Bowl to BYU, and you say, hey, we checked the box on getting Miss Peggy to a bowl game. The next box is Big 12 championship or the season is not a success. Like that was the mantra spring and summer. When you got about midway through the season and you knew you weren't going to the Big 12 championship, but you always had a bowl game as your floor. Now you've fallen under that floor, which could permeate through the team that, well, these last two games don't matter because even if we win them, we're still not going to a bowl game, let alone Big 12 championship. You have to flip that thinking as coaches, staff, and especially players that there is something to play for. Chico spelled it out, PRIDE, like his coach.
Right.
You still got that pride to play for. You still want to end this season on a good note going forward. Chico, can I give you a fun? Well, it ain't fun. Can I give you a fact
Yes, sir.
about the Coach Prime coaching era? His 6 football seasons as a head coach. We've never won the final game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether that was Celebration Bowls at Jack State or BYU, you know, the Alamo Bowl, or even a regular season, never won the final game of the season. And so you turned it over to a true freshman quarterback, and that's got you some energy. I think those guys do have something to play for. You know, play for winning out and setting the tone for spring ball and next fall.
Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah, they're on bye week. Like Ung just said, y'all stay tuned for that. No game this weekend, but be prepared for next week and coming back on Sunday. What about Shador Sanders and the Cleveland Browns? I've seen reports out there saying that players on the team are calling for Shador Sanders to be the quarterback as soon as possible. They're like, we're tired of this ish, Ocho. What we gonna do?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, I'm sure they exist, dude, Chico, but I don't understand people that don't want to win. Like that's so foreign to me that I can't make it make sense. And so I say that to say I'm not surprised that that's the case because you got guys out there who've worked their asses off to get to the NFL, and they didn't want to work their asses off to get there. They wanted to work their ass to be impactful, to win games, to go to the playoffs, to go to Super Bowls. And here they are seeing a better option on the bench that could get them there. I would hope they're vocal. I'm telling you who I would say it's somewhere between shocked and disappointed, but not surprised at the same time. I saw a couple of clips where the Cleveland media is now flipping and doing more of the nonsense of blaming Shador for Shador not playing.
What?
Yeah.
How is that when this is we all know this is a head coaching call. Like, how
So
is
then
that
let's.
being?
I'm
Break it down.
I'm going to tell you what they said, but I
Yeah.
have to say now, don't try to get me to explain it because I
Okay.
absolutely disagree with it. But
Yeah.
one thing I don't do, Chico, when I see shit I disagree with, I don't share it. You know,
Okay.
like.
Okay.
So I've
Okay.
seen this clip out there of a sports show in Cleveland, the most popular one that does all the talking,
Mm-hmm.
and they were having a conversation about that they have come to the belief that the reason why Shador is not playing is because of Shador. And they said because they went through these layers and they said, well, you know, even if you fire they're trying to make it like it's a Stefanski's decision, and even if you fire him, that doesn't mean the next guy is going to put Shador up because they went through a litany of things that didn't make no sense. But what I say is, how is a guy who comes early, stays late, involved in the community, not causing no drama, when he needs treatment goes, buying single mamas cars, like
Mm-hmm.
how is him not being elevated to an opportunity his fault? I don't get how you can read the tea leaves and come up with that final analysis other than you
Man,
just
let's be
asshole.
real, man. Let's be real, dog. For one, listen, the Browns are trying to save face on that pick. For two, I think, like I said before, this is giving them credit for being might be giving them credit for being smarter than what they are by saying that saying that, hey man, we're not gonna put Shador out there right now. We know our team is not ready. We got 2 draft picks plus next year. We need to get in the best position possible. But who does that in a professional setting on a professional football team? I don't know who, but the Cleveland Browns are definitely capable of doing that. Having somebody like Shador Sanders right there and saying, we're too dumb to play you, or we very smart and we know that right now is not the time. Next year will be perfect. We'll see. I think the
So
earliest you
yeah,
will see him this season is going to be at the end of at the last game of the year. That's the game we'll
and
see
and
Shador Sanders.
and that all sounds good, Chico, and I'm not knocking what you're saying. You can
Mm-hmm.
sign my name to it. Here's my pushback though.
Mm-hmm.
And Rick George said this in the clip we played earlier. He talked about owing the current student athletes what he promised them.
Yeah.
And so every day that I'm here, that's what I'm working on. Take Shador out of the equation. What about what you owe the other 52 players?
That's what I'm saying.
Don't you owe them a true opportunity to win? Didn't you
Mm-hmm.
promise them when you signed them that, hey, this is what we're going to pay you, and this is what else we're going to do to help you be successful on this team? Like when they re-recruited Myles Garrett back, they promised him certain things, not just the money. Like, we're going to do this to get the defense better. We're going to do this to get the offense better. And so you make this thing about Shador and his readiness or the best timing to play him for the future. Sure, get that. But what about the other 52 players on the 53-man roster?
See,
Don't
that's
you
what
have a responsibility to them to make a good faith effort to win ball games?
I think that's what we call back in the day face breaking. They're acting like it because they know what they told that man and others. They're acting like it, right? So they can keep these guys playing hard, quote unquote, so that you're not in a position where you injure yourself by going 50% or knowing that you are out here to lose. So you have to face break a little bit, right? That's what I think could be going on right there. Face breaking, dog. We know we told them we're not going to play Shador break to keep them playing. That's it.
It sounds like we need to call up your cousin and hit him with the King Kaggle.
Probably do. You know, that
He
might
sweeps
work.
the legs around here.
Let's see what the Cleveland offensive coordinator said right here's a clip. Let's see if I can pull this up right here, Bob. Let's see.
Shout out to Manny.
And he grades
And
out
Manny.
pretty high. Look, nobody's going to bat 1,000. Dylan's 60% of the passes, you don't see it, you know, and other tall quarterbacks have said the same thing, right? You're playing with big men out there and windows close fast.
Just some of the throws that seemed pretty.
If it's playing, I can't hear it.
Okay.
Is there something?
Yeah, it's very low. Sorry
I think it
about
goes
that.
back to the point.
But basically, he
couple-
was saying. Sorry, he was saying that 60% of the passes that or the passes that you don't see, like at practice, and was the quote right there? 60% of the passes you don't see, Dylan grades out pretty high. Nobody's going to be 1,000. Dylan's prep and where he is as a rookie is really well beyond. He's mature that way, is what he said about Dylan Gabriel. And face breaking once again.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point, you got to be able to look in the mirror or you got to be able to look at your fan base or your players and say, "Hey, man, my bad." And that's what they're trying to avoid. Like, so you pick Dylan Gabriel ahead of Shador, which that should not have happened, right? Uh, and then you put yourself in a position because you did that, you have to give him the opportunities before you give Shador his, because that's where the draft pick and the money went from a tier system. But I also think you have reached a data point. There's sometimes, Chico, when you look at how you and I we discuss Colorado Buffalo football, and it's week 1 Georgia Tech, week 2 Delaware. You really don't have enough data points to know what trajectory this particular player is because there haven't been enough reps. When you look at the Browns and now midway through a football season, you have enough data points on Dylan Gabriel to know how much of this can realistically get better. And then can we win with what it is? And you have to honestly say to yourself, okay, is 10% better enough? It's not. Can we win with what it is? We can't. What's our choices? Give the next guy an opportunity.
Right.
And the next guy may fail too.
May.
But you have to go again, Coach Prime. Hey, Coach, what went into the decision to put Juju in? Common sense.
Right.
Like, how many data points do I need to see that even if this next thing doesn't work, I owe this next thing the opportunity because our back's against the wall. He's risen to the occasion in practice. I've seen enough there to know, let me put him out there and see if that's a spark. And if it ain't, guess what we can do? You can always go back.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to go like, common sense and analytics tell me it's time to move to the next guy.
You know what? Let me play the other side right now. I don't think they can go back. I think they know that this is a
Chico,
once they make
let
that
me-
change. Okay,
Let
go
me
ahead,
be
go ahead.
clear. I'm not saying that in this situation they can. I'm not talking about the Browns. I'm talking about globally when you're doing analytics.
Right. Right.
If you have 3 options and you've exhausted 1 and 2, and 3 doesn't perform well, 1 and 2 are still there.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not like you're going to 4th or 5th or 6th. When Ryan Staub came in and played in Houston, it went back to Salter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not saying that the Browns are in that position. I'm totally with you. I think that when Shador does get this opportunity, I think he's going to show and prove that it's his job to keep, and you won't have no choice but to keep him because he's going to play better than the other guy did.
And you know why the players want this so bad? As far as reports go out there saying that the players want this, I think because they see whatever they see at practice, and part of what they see at practice is what Coach Prime said he needs from his quarterbacks, and which is what makes a quarterback. You got to go out there and make at least 3 plays per game that are just on you, plays that you have made that can extend this ball game or get a first down or keep your offense on the football field. That's what Shador Sanders can bring each and every game. He can
Yeah.
improvise and make a play that's not drawn up for you, and that can move you in a positive direction and keep drives going.
Amen to that. And let me also add this non-football thing to it. It's called leadership. And now when I say what I'm about to say, folks, I'm not saying Dylan Gabriel ain't doing it. I don't know Dylan Gabriel. I'm saying what I have seen Shador Sanders do.
Mhm.
I've seen Shador Sanders walk in the locker room and touch and talk to everybody. I've
Mhm.
seen Shador Sanders go in the cafeteria and walk and touch to everybody. There are
Mhm.
some people, Chico, that by the way they carry themselves, not just their physical ability, but the way they carry themselves, you want to follow them. You want to
Yes.
play for them.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of them old football movies, whether it's The Replacements or movies like that. But like, hey man, they just won't block for him because they don't
Yeah.
like him.
Right. And that's a
You
real
know?
damn thing, dog.
Yeah,
That's a real thing.
it is a real thing. And I
Yeah.
think at this point, when you look at the miscues, the overthrows, the underthrows, the bad balls, what receiver is going to leave the line of scrimmage with full confidence that Dylan Gabriel is actually going to get me this ball?
And that affects how they run their routes. That affects the timing. That affects
Yep.
them wanting to go over the middle and catch that thing because they don't know where it's
Yeah.
going to. They don't know where.
Well, here's what I do though. If I go over the middle, I'm going to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't I want to get hit at least catching the ball versus getting hit and the damn ball over my head?
Right.
Like they know these things. They're out there with these people. And so there are certain people that when you are around them, you work harder and smarter for because you believe in them. You like them.
Yeah.
I don't think Dylan Gabriel has that kind of command over this team in Cleveland right now, that all these folks are sold out to prove him right, to make him
Right.
right,
Right.
to make
Right.
sure he's our guy.
Right.
And which I go back to, dear Cleveland, I disagree with you on Shador, but that's your call. But
Mhm.
what about your responsibility to the other 52 people on the 53-man roster? Don't you
That's-
owe them an effort to win?
Yeah. And we hope y'all win, man. We hope y'all win. But you got to do the right damn thing by your team, big dog. Got to do the right thing. Don't leave them boys out there to dry. Don't be out there face breaking, telling them we doing this. You doing that. You know, we see better. We know what's going on at practice, and we know who we want to go behind. Paul, we know who we want to be our quarterback.
I just love regional, urban / country dialect. Like,
Right.
you got face breaking in Alabama.
That's right.
Everywhere else call it flossing. In Memphis is called flogging.
Flogging. Yeah.
Man, Joey's out there flogging. And you got to be from around it to know what it means. So Chico here dropping
Yeah.
face breaking. I know
Face
some
breaking.
folks out there like, what the hell he talking about?
There's
I
some
know what you're
folks out
talking
there
about, Chico.
talking like, yeah, you can't be face breaking out here now. Somebody said, man, I ain't hear that's in 96. Appreciate
I think they
y'all,
call
man.
it
Hey,
cap it now.
capping now. That's all it is. Straight capping. Kaepernick, capping, cappuccino, all the capping going on. You know what I mean? Unc, shout out to
Yo.
Louisiana Glenn. He's in the chat right now. He said, Unc, man, y'all come meet up with him and go have some drinks or something. He's in Boulder where it's colder too.
All right, I slide in your DM, Louisiana Glenn.
I ain't know it's gonna
You
go
throwing
like
something on
that,
the
but
grill?
Uncle be there.
Yeah.
Shit, I'll be there
If
too.
you throwing something on the grill, just holler.
Like,
I
Unc,
come to
like,
you.
should I stay here at this hotel with these two Thai twins, or should I go over there and eat with Louisiana Glenn?
I'm gonna stay with the two Thai twins.
Okay, well, there's your
Yeah,
answer right there, Louisiana Glenn.
That's an easy call. Now one of them, I'm gonna go. Yeah, but two of them, I'm gonna hit Glenn up. Like, I'm tied up. Tied up.
All right, here's a super chat that I can't read behind the orange, but I will try.
Oh, you got to, because I can't see it.
Man,
I got it.
oh, I found out how to put it up
Yeah,
bigger
man.
now. Easy. TMF. It say CMF, but it should be TMR. I just found out how to make it bigger.
That is the call for when Chico is proud of himself right there.
I didn't realize I did it till you said it
Chico
yesterday.
told that woman 2 minutes and he gave her 3. And once he finished, he said, he's
You gotta under promise and over deliver. You feel me? TMR fam. Thank you for staying strong regardless. In a season full of noise, you kept the foundation steady. Damn right. That's right. Put your flags high in the sky. Respect to the real ones who never folded. Appreciate you,
can't fold.
C-Made
Hey,
AI.
you can't fold what can't bend. How you gonna fold something that don't bend, Chico?
That's what I be trying to tell you. He said, Chico, put that wad of money in your pocket. I'm like, it don't fold, baby. It don't fold.
It's too big.
Too damn big. Shout out TMR. Y'all got haters that love to watch. You ain't lying. Shout out my
Hey man,
haters.
go get some. Go get some more.
Go get in line.
Yeah, I'm like Jerry Jones. This stadium full of people cheering and booing, but it's full.
That's right. Plotting and wishing. Ain't that great point. Big Beats, Franklin in the building.
That's my
Hey,
guy.
Big Unc. He said that hoodie cold, man. That hoodie you got on, Unc, or that hoodie or that shirt.
Yeah, a little action, little gold teeth action, gold
you said
chain
somebody
like in
sent you that?
North Memphis. Yeah. Somebody sent. I'm gonna get their stuff and drop it on them. You know,
That's right.
drop it on y'all.
He said that
Maybe
they'll
actually break me off something like Chico don't do. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to bring it up no more.
Lord have mercy. Hold up. What up, Chico in the background? Tied up in the background.
They know you,
Appreciate
dog.
you,
I'm
Big
trying
B.
to tell you, man. You and Deuce go get me in trouble, man. The chat know you, dog. They be saying that stuff.
Man, chat y'all wrong as hell for that, dog. But
They seen that hand come in the other day and hand you that plate.
Y'all keep talking it up.
Then talking about that was me. How you did it? You said that was me reaching.
When? They're probably in there cooking. I got breakfast getting ready to be set up. Purple sweet potatoes, some eggs, and some good old, I don't know what else, but I smell it. All right. Thank y'all for coming out. Y'all know
Yeah, I
what to do.
bet you.
Like,
I bet you
subscribe,
do
comment.
smell it. You see that?
No, like this right here, like this.
Drive it home.
Whew. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you have reached the time of the show where we're going to get up and up out of this thing. Peace to all of the haters out there. We thank y'all for checking in with us and keeping us going. You understand me? Shout out to T-Braids 808 Hawaii. I got to come see you today. And make sure y'all go get that merch like Uncle Neely is wearing at unclechico.myshopify.com.
Chico, when you go to T-Braids 808,
okay,
don't sit in somebody's parking space outside their house and get followed to Whole Foods again. Like be cool, Chico. Be cool.
I've been staying away from that apartment complex, kind of. Like I turned in and turned around real quick, but you don't keep me from over here hanging on y'all, cuz. Y'all think this is?
Chico
Big
said,
Usos,
on Nation, I'll be back over here.
the big Usos came outside. I was like, I'm DoorDash or the wrong apartment. I was just playing. Hey man,
Homewrecker Chico, aka the Stud Finder.
Deuces up. Shockers in the sky, and put your rebel flags up high. That's right. We're gonna get up and about of this thing. Uncle Chico, Deuce the Scoop, peace in the Middle East. Yo. Stud Finder.
Stud Finder.